Our top story tonight, the Savannah Downtown Business Association says it is working to continue making downtown shopping and dining even better, even during slow periods. WSAV's Isabella Baez spoke to the association's executive director about some of the changes you may start to notice.
When walking down Broughton Street, you might notice new stores or restaurants opening their doors, just like Free People, which opened up just a few months ago. But some businesses are telling a different story and closing after years downtown.
So I think it's thinking about when something goes in, getting something in right away behind it, right? This is our heart of commerce.
Mia Mance, the executive director of the Savannah Downtown Business Association, says when one business leaves, it's all about getting the next one in. And she says even if you see a vacancy on Broughton Street or anywhere downtown Savannah, just know they are working on how to make the storefront more appealing, even when it's empty.
We're also looking at getting all of these corners, all of those storefronts, right, activated. And activated doesn't necessarily always mean a lease signed, but how can we thoughtfully rethink what goes in these storefronts? What can we do pop-up wise? What can we do art wise?
Just months ago, Locally Made Savannah, a store specializing in selling locally made items from local artists, announced their closure after almost 5 years.
So I think every storefront has a different story, and I think, yes, bumping up against the cost of doing business and seeing a softer economy at this moment.
Even though there have been some recent closures, some stores have also been opening their doors and celebrating new beginnings, like Savannah Scone Company, which opened its second location on Congress Street. Mance says a majority of businesses throughout downtown Savannah are locally owned.
Local ownership on Broughton Street specifically, that's probably over 75% of our number.
Mance also stresses the importance of shopping small and eating local, saying it's a way to support the people who call the city home. Reporting in Savannah, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The Jasper County Sheriff's Office is investigating a vulnerable adult neglect case in Hardeeville where a caregiver has now been arrested and is facing serious charges. According to deputies, on May 30th, officers responded to a welfare check at a home on Calabogie Way. Investigators say they forced entry after discovering the front door had been nailed shut. Inside, deputies found a vulnerable adult who was bedridden, nearly nonverbal, and living in what authorities described as severe neglect. Investigators say the home had no electricity, no food, and no running water. The victim was transported for medical care where hospital staff determined he was severely malnourished and emaciated. Following the investigation, the victim's primary caregiver, Shanna Latrell Saxon, was arrested and charged with neglect of an adult and attempted murder. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing and additional charges could still be filed. Tybee Island police say one suspect is behind bars, another remains on the run after a chaotic encounter with an officer last week. According to police, an officer was conducting an investigation on Tybrisa Street on May 25th when a man and woman approached. Investigators say the man threatened to take the officer's badge and gun before the pair walked away. Police say the couple returned a short time later and the man again became confrontational. When the officer attempted to take him into custody, investigators say he actively resisted and was not subdued by a taser. Authorities say the woman interfered with the arrest at one point, exposing herself and relieving herself in the patrol car. Both suspects were transported for medical evaluations where police say they continued to be combative. During that process, the woman allegedly escaped through an unsecured door and has not been found since. The man was later booked into the Chatham County Detention Center on multiple charges. Tybee police say the investigation remains active as they continue searching for the escaped suspect. New tonight, the Glenville Ethics Committee says no city code violations were committed by city officials in connection with a controversial video that sparked community outrage. The decision comes just 2 days after residents packed council chambers to voice concerns and call for action. The video was recorded on April 28th. It followed a special called meeting. It showed Mayor Bernie Weaver and council members Marcus Noble, Tammy Water, and Greg Janacek discussing city business, which some say violated Georgia's open meetings law. During the recording, derogatory comments were also made about a local businessman and a council member, Cynthia Miller.
And notice I never asked her to pray.
Well, there are churches of Satan, you know.
The Bear was here. Before he's a terrorist.
Do you think if we hit him with the holy water, he'd melt a little?
The Ethics Board includes one member appointed by the mayor, one by city council, and a third appointed by the mayor and approved by council. The committee's report now goes before the city council, meaning the same officials named in the complaints could ultimately have a say in any further action. The Savannah-Chatham County Public School System is still working to finalize its upcoming budget. During recent discussions, leaders say a multi-million-dollar gap appeared in early what-if scenarios, but they stress that no final budget has been adopted. WSAV's Nikaya Harris breaks down what district officials are saying.
That is a huge misunderstanding. Do not take any votes during informal.
School Board President Roger Moss says the $6.1 million gap was discussed in a work session where leaders look at different what-if budget scenarios, not final decisions.
One of the scenarios was, what if we went with a budget that was lower than what we had originally talked about?
Moss says the board has not approved a budget yet, but it is still waiting on the county tax digest, which shows how much money the district will get from property taxes.
You would not create your household budget if you didn't have a job. Right. You wouldn't do that. You have to know what your paycheck is going to be before you create a budget.
Part of the discussion also included a $4.2 million adjustment related to staff cost, including a reduction to cost of living increases.
Teachers get step increases each year. What was proposed yesterday was on top of those step increases, which averaged about 2.2%, we were actually giving another 2% in cost of living adjustments.
Other ideas discussed to balance the budget included delayed support staff hiring, cuts to legal services, and reduced emergency weather funding.
Even with that 6.1 reduction, we also have a fund balance. Our fund balance more than covers 6.1 million.
That was Nikaya Harris reporting. The district says the projected shortfall stems from a number of factors, including a drop in state funding, rising costs, and a drop in enrollment. The board has until June 30th to approve a final budget. A major infrastructure project is taking shape in Effingham County, one that leaders say will transform how the region gets its water for generations to come. At the center of the project is a new intake on the Savannah River, which will serve as a major source of water for the region. From there, water will be sent to a new advanced treatment plant where it will be processed using modern filtration and disinfection technology. Officials say a new pipeline network will then distribute water across the region. Leaders say the project is designed to reduce pressure on local aquifers while also ensuring supply during droughts or emergencies. The multi-year plan is expected to begin construction later this year, with the full system projected to be up and running by 2030. There is a website with frequently asked questions addressing everything from water sources to construction impacts and service changes for residents. We have that information for you at WSAV.com. New tonight, Union Mission bringing together hundreds of supporters for its 11th annual Raising Hope fundraiser. More than 800 people gathering at the Savannah Convention Center for the event, which raises money for Union Mission's emergency housing programs. Organizers say those programs provide 140 beds each night for people in need across the region. Attendees heard from keynote speaker Janie Deegan, who shared her journey from homelessness and addiction to becoming a successful business owner. Union Mission also used the evening to give an update on its new resource center, which is going to open in a short time, June 12th.
I think having a one-stop shop to help the homeless is really going to make a huge difference in getting people off the streets, into services, and helping to solve the issue one person at a time. And I think that's very, very important.
Union Mission says it helped more than 2,300 people throughout Southeast Georgia last year through its various programs and services. One of America's most iconic symbols has made its way back to Savannah. The world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales are in town. They are in the hostess city celebrating the 150th anniversary of the company. This Savannah stop is part of a national tour highlighting Budweiser's long-standing partnership with the nonprofit Folds of Honor. That provides educational scholarships to families of fallen or disabled service members and first responders. Tomorrow, the Clydesdales will continue their public appearances. Then on Saturday, fans can catch the iconic 8-horse hitch along River Street for a parade, along with multiple stops and a photo opportunity before the day wraps with a public unhitching at Plant Riverside.